Hello and welcome to Security. This is Cesar. This is a continuation of the Network Services 2 room of the Tryhackme Cyber Defense Pathway um, project that I'm currently undergoing. So, um, so I'll put a link to the first part of this room and also to the playlist for the pathway, so you can watch the previous videos I've posted. And in the last video, we went over the NFS the tasks on NFS, that is task 2, task 3, and task 4. So today we're going to go into the next task, which is SMTP. And if the video doesn't get too long, I'll also cover SQL as well, or MySQL. So yeah, without further ado, let me get right into it. So task 5, understanding SMTP. You can read through the notes. Says SMTP stands for Simple Mail Transfer Protocol and is utilized to handle the sending of emails. In order to support email services, a protocol pair is required comprising of SMTP and POP stroke IMAP. Together, they allow the user to send outgoing mail and retrieve incoming mail respectively. Okay, so you can read through this note basically for task 5 and answer the questions. And so let's go right into the hands-on parts. We have here task 6, which is enumerating SMTP. First of all, we have to start the machine that we are going to use for the lab. And yeah, I'll just give it a couple of minutes to put up, and also give some time for all this to be sure that all the services are started up on the target machine before I come back to the video. Okay, so now I've given the machine some time, about 5 minutes to put up, and we can start with the questions. So it says, first of all, let's run a port scan against the target machine. Same as last time, what port is SMTP running on? So if you remember the last time, we ran the command nmap, and basically this command with the A and the P flags. But since we don't really want to find out every single port that's running, I'm just going to assume that the nmap is running on to save time. Basically, I'm just going to assume that SMTP is running on one of the world standard ports, and do the scan on that without specifying the P flag for it to run past the standard ports. So if you want a more thorough search, you can also still do that, but just to save time, because that takes 15 to 20 minutes to run. I'm just gonna leave it like this. So yeah, now I also specified the target IP and the V flag to make the scan a bit more detailed. So I'm just going to give it a couple of minutes to run again, and I'll come back when it's done. Okay, so now we're back and the scan is done. It took less than a minute actually. It was a very fast scan. So we can see what port is SMTP running on. You can see port 25 is open with SMTP, port 22 is running SSH. So yeah, that should be the answer for the first question, port 25 SMTP. So okay, now we know what port we should be targeting. Let us set up Metasploit. What command do we use to do this? So if you know, if you have any history we're using Metasploit, you should know that the command to start up Metasploit is msf console, and yeah, that's the answer for that. So let's search for the module SMTP version. What is the full module name? So first of all, we have to go start up Metasploit. Run this command to start it up. So now we have Metasploit started up, and in order to search in the Metasploit console, use the search command, and we're looking for basically the module called SMTP underscore version. And if we run that, you can see that the full name is auxiliary slash scanner slash SMTP slash SMTP version. And that's the answer for that. Next question. So select the module and list the options. So to list the options when you select the module, the command is basically options. And yeah, if you check, that's the answer to that. So next question is have a look through the options. Does everything seem correct? What's the option we need to set? So first of all, we need to select the module that we just found. To use the module, you use the command use basically, and can select this module that we just found, which is the SMTP version. And if you type in the command options, you can see it has three options: the rhost, rport, and thread. Threads, rport is already set, thread is already set, but rhost is not set, which is remote host. So that is the option that we need to set. So the next question, set that to the correct value for your target machine. And what is system mail? Run the exploit. What is system mail name? So to set that, you have to use the command set rhost, and you put in the IP address for the remote machine that you're targeting. In our case, it's 10.10.121.142, and now we can run the exploit. And here we can see a response from running the command. You can see SMTP 220 follow SMTP.home, and basically it's a connection that was made to the target machine, and that is the answer, the system mail name for our target. So the hint just shows you what you should be looking for, and it says what mail transfer agent is running on the SMTP server. I think this question, there's different ways to find it, but one way I found it was from, if you remember, from the nmap scan we ran earlier. If you do this nmap scan with the a flag that runs runs all scripts basically on each open port, and you specify the IP address. So this also usually, this scan that runs scripts basically, you could also use the flag like this, the S and SV flag instead of the A flag. But if A flag, it runs all scripts, but this SV also kind of like gives you the version of the service that's running on that port. So you can use that, or you can use the A flag, and when you run that, you should get the version of the service, and the version of the service and that is being run on the server, yeah. Not just the version, but also the details of the service, like the name of the service and version, yeah. That's being run on the server. So if we give it a minute to run, and if we go scroll through when it's done, we can see here where it says SMTP, we can see this is the agent that is being run on the server, postfix, and Also, you can also see the information that we got for the system email name as well. So basically this this nmap flag gets a lot of details basically from the target machine. So next question. Good, now we have a good amount of information in targets to move on to the next stage. So let's search for the module SMTP enum and what is the full module name. So the same way we searched for the earlier module, would run the same search using the same command. So just use the search command, and we're looking for SMTP underscore enum, and this is the full name of the module. So we're going to be using the top username shortlist.txt word list from the usernames subsection of seclist. Okay, so seclist is an amazing collection of word lists. If you're running Kali or Parrot, you can install seclist with sudo apt install seclist. I think I already have it installed. Alternately, you can download it from the repository here. So what option do we need to set the word list path? So we have to select this module first of all, the module we just found, which is the auxiliary /canal /smtp enum. And when we check options, if we look at this option user file, it says the file that contains a list of probable user accounts. So user file is a option that we need to set for the word list. So once we set this option, what is the other essential parameter that we need to set? You see also every other option is set apart from rhost. So rhost is still another option that we need to set. And so now it says now run the exploit. This may take a few minutes, so grab a cup of coffee, tea, water, etc. So yeah, we have to set, before we run the exploit, we have to set the rhost, which is our target, 121.142. Okay, so after specifying the remote host or the target, next thing to specify is the word list. And to specify the word list, you use user file option, and it says we should use the seclist top username shortlist. So for my system, I don't have seclist stored in the same directory. Rather than in the word list directory, I have it stored. Let me just confirm that, but I think I have it stored in the share directory directly. So if you can see, if you go into the share directory and ls, I can see I have seclist here stored directly in this directory. So I can give the path to the word list file, ignoring the word list directory. That is for my own system. So you can check where you have yours installed, or if not, you can if you don't have it, you can install it using this command here, sudo apt install seclist. So the next folder is the user names, and I specify the top usernames shortlist .txt, and that is my user file. I'm just going to confirm that the name is correct. Okay, so now I can run the exploit and give it a couple of minutes to run. I can just collapse this terminal. I'll give it a couple of minutes to run. I'll pause the video and come back when it's done. Okay, so the scan took a couple of seconds, and we can see the users found is administrator, and yeah, it says okay, now that it's finished, what username is returned. That's the answer to this question. So yeah, now we're done with task 6, which is enumerating SMTP, and now we can go into task 7, exploiting SMTP. What do we know? Okay, at the end of our enumeration section, we found a few vital pieces of information: a user account name and the type of SMTP server and operating system running. Okay, so now basically it's going to talk about how can we use this information that we've gotten to exploit the service on the target server. So yeah, you can read through the notes and everything. So yeah, basically it's saying we should use Hydra to get the password basically of the user that we found for our target system. So it gives a syntax of this command that we're going to use and breaks down what each option specifies. You can read this basically to get more information concerning that. So, but in short, all we have to do is run this command in order to get the password for the user that we just found in our enumeration stage. So I'm just going to close Metasploit now. Okay, so I just cleared the terminal, and I'm just going to copy this syntax. So we're going to use the username that we found through the SMTP enumeration and brute force this target over SSH to find the SSH password for this user that we found on the system. So now I'm going to paste the selection and just replace this username with the username that we found in our enumeration, which is administrator, and yeah, every other thing looks correct, and we'll just run the command. So this can take depending on how complex the password is, this can take a while, but to just give it, I'll just give it a couple of minutes, pause the video and come back when it's done. Okay, so apparently the password was not very complex, so the scan did not take a long time. We can see the brute force attack has been successful, and we've gotten the password as Alejandro. So we put in that, and finally it said now we can log on to the SSH by SSH into the server and get the flag. So to do that, we basically type in SSH with our username, which is administrator at our target, which is 10.10.121.142. Yes, it should ask us for our password, which is Ale. And we're into the server. So now if we ls, we can see smtp.txt, and when we open up that we have our flag. So we can copy our flag and paste it in. So that's the end of type 7, exploiting SMTP. And the next video, I'm just going to pause it here. And in the next video, we'll look into the last protocol for the last protocol or last service basically for this room, which is MySQL. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.